Hey, but her mouth is usually covered by that point. Welcome to Bracket Bash, the podcast where we take a bracket of 32, 64, 128 and more and banter our way down to a winner. I am your humblest of hosts, and I put the hot in hot tag. And this is Dre.
Hello. I am DeAndre Robinson, host of Masturbators. If you hear me silencing down because my daughter's in the background, so sorry about that. But I can only do this episode if I watch my daughter. So that was the deal. However, though, my daughter is actually named after a wrestler. Her name is Sasha Billy Robinson. So there you go.
I was gonna say she's always invited to our party. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, always.
She is Billy. The party.
There you go. But exactly. I'm happy to be here, and I may not be high. Go
ahead. CJ.
I am CJ. I'm the music god. I do the Noise Report and the Racket Brackets. I also do the Music God Reacts on YouTube, and we have a new segment coming for that called Music God's Nuclear Jukebox, where I will be showcasing all of those great records from the 70s, 80s, 90s that flew under the radar and didn't quite get the attention they deserve. Bands like Psychofunkopus and Electric Love Hogs and Shark Island, and we're going to do R&B and country and Americana and all kinds of crap. So it's going to be a great flashback for a lot of stuff. So, yeah.
Jamie?
Well, I'm your mouthy bastard. Of course I'm here for the tag team. Of course, I've got to put my 2 cents in on this. And actually, my tag team partner that just moved back to Oklahoma, my homeboy, it's his birthday today. So happy birthday to you, asshole. I hope you have a good one. And I'm here to get the party started. So as our original cue would say, let's go.
Miss Shambanan.
I am Shanna, formerly known as the Awkward Bastard. I am making my return to Bracket Bastards, representing the I Did Not Make These Rankings podcast network with Dre. I am one of the co-hosts of Crime Rewind, Literature Reapers, as well as An Evening at the Movies.
And that makes 5 of us, but that also, we have 2 more lovely guests this week. Austin, who I've been trying to get on for a while now, finally gets to grace us with his presence. How you doing there, sir?
I am very well. If I didn't have kids, this would be a lot easier to get on this show. But I got to take them home early this week, so fuck them kids. I am a co-host and producer of the Ice Cream Sunday podcast. New episode out every Sunday, everywhere you get podcasts. We call ourselves the Beautiful Boys on that show. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna call myself the Beautiful Bastard.
Well, you might have to fight Jess for that one, but she's not on today's show. And last but not least, from Superhero Homies, Q.
All right, yeah, I am the homie Q, like you said, from the Superhero Homies podcast, where we discuss all things comic books, superhero related movies, TV shows, old school stories, retro stories, new stories, even theoretical philosophy about superhero politics and whatnot. All good times, all fun all the time, all laughs. So check out Superhero Homies wherever you guys get your podcast or on all the DSPs.
And as always, we are the bastards running this thing. I'm glad to have all you guys here this week, not just our 2 guests. All of you, especially the returning Shan Bananas, always a good time to have her here. Today's episode, as I said last week, is actually dedicated to the wrestling fans out there. We are talking tag teams. It is Summerslam special time. I get to start us off. I actually get a vote this week, which is really nice. And we have, as a play-in matchup, we have DIY versus FTR. These two tag teams have a lot of history, and their matchups are absolutely great. I believe I like DIY as single wrestlers, but not exactly as a tag team, and I'm not a huge AEW fan. but I will be going for FTR on this one. Dre, what is your call?
Well, Dre's a huge AEW fan. Dre thinks AEW's wrestling today is far better than the WWE, and I really debate anyone on that. In-ring wrestling, story-wise, I get to WWE. In-ring wrestling, the AEW has their hands fucking down. So that's why I have to go to FTR, because it's 5-star FTR. They have 5-star matches. So I'm looking for going 5-star FTR.
FTR gets a vote. CJ?
FTR all day. Not even close.
Jamie?
I don't know. I don't have an attachment to either, to be honest. But Ciampa, whatever, I'm okay with that. I'm all right with this one, so I'll give it to DIY. There you go.
DIY gets a vote, avoiding the sweep on this one. Shanna?
Like Jamie, I do not really have a horse in this race. However, are you talking about Tommaso Ciampa?
Yep, Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano.
Yeah, he reminds me of a jacked up Captain Spaulding, and I can't get down with it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Smells like cat pee.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with FTR.
FTR gets the vote and the win on that one. Austin?
DIY is very good, very, very good. But FTR is probably right now, and has been for the last few years, the best tag team on the planet. I gotta give it to FTR.
Gets a vote. Q, finish this up.
Yeah, I gotta go with FTR on this. They are, in my opinion, the best tag team on the planet currently. They are a modern incarnation of a classic old school tag team. And love those guys. Love DIY, but FTR they're phenomenal.
FTR moves on to the.
I don't think I can count that as a tag team. That mustache has its own fucking personality. So I'm not sure if I call that a tag team or a three-way. I don't know.
Either way, I want to make it. I want to be the meat in that sandwich.
Yes.
FTR moves on to the first round. That was a play-in matchup. It will be. I'm not going to tell you the matchups. Speaking of, by the way, there are 2 rules on this show for all you people playing at home. Number 1 is for everybody on this show. If there is a matchup that you don't want to vote on first, and if you're the first people to go, you can go ahead and blow your load or use your final swing. And for Shanna, for this special rule, and just for her, she can squirt her shirt.
Yes.
Because she's that type of person. So there is that. And also, there's the entire fuck you Freddy rules. If you guys don't like the matchups, you can go ahead and tell me to fuck off as usual. Everybody else decides to do that. And there's a third one I completely forgot what it was, so hopefully I can return my mind to that statement and bring it back to you. When we get past the first half of the first round, after that, if it's a tie-breaking decision, the tiebreaker gets to know who it will be facing in the next round if they choose to have it. If not, it stays a secret until the next round. That was the information I couldn't really think of. But yes, FTR does move on. Dre starts us off. We have, in another play-in matchup, we have the Rockers versus Midnight Express.
Cool. I'm going to go with the Rockers here, actually. And it produced one of the best wrestlers of all time, the Rockers. So I'm going to go to the Rockers here.
Rocker gets a vote. CJ?
I'm going Midnight Express because, quite frankly, without the Midnight Express, FTR and so many other tag teams don't even exist. Their whole style, gimmick, everything comes from it. And, yeah.
Midnight Express gets a vote.
Freddie, I want to say this. I'm going to say it one time. I'm going to say something. And you know what I say?
Go ahead.
Just because you're older doesn't mean you're better. Just want to say, I want to make sure that just because you're older doesn't mean you're better. So that's all I'm going to say. There you go.
Well, FTR just spent an hour on there with CM Punk doing the thing for Dennis Connolly, so that pretty much speaks for itself.
Jamie, is it the Rockers or Midnight Express?
I mean, if you think about it, we have a version of the Rockers right now. It's them stupid ass pretty boy things, whatever the hell they are, the Blades of Glory looking.
Pretty deadly.
Fucking yeah, they're so awkward. I can't do it. I just want to see them tutu around more than
Just
wrestle.
looking at them throws off my pH balance.
Right, and hey, there's the birthday boy in comments, folks. He's late for. Oh my Jesus! Of course he's gonna say some vulgar things. It's his birthday. Let him do it.
Happy birthday there, sir.
Anyways, I'm actually gonna go with the Rockers. They were very entertaining to watch. For a lot of the old school matches I just caught up on not too long ago, all that hair, it just got me excited. So the Rockers. Hair. Oh my
Sorry,
Jesus.
this is what I'm laughing at.
Of course, Mark, of course. Oh, Jesus. Wrong one. I forgot to go to my incognito tab.
Damn it. Oh, this is not you porn, sir. Come on. Shanna,
shit, I'm
is
on
it
the Rod podcast too.
is it Midnight Express or the Rockers?
I'm going with my girl Jamie. We're going Rockers.
Rockers gets another vote. Austin.
So the thing about the Rockers is Shawn Michaels is probably one of the greatest singles wrestlers of all time, but there's a reason that when you talk about the worst tag team wrestler or the worst of the two tag team wrestlers, you always bring up the name Marty Jannetty. One was just so much better than the other, and every single member of the Midnight Express ever was phenomenal. You got to give it to the Midnight Express. The Midnight Express is what every tag team since the Midnight Express has been trying to be.
Gets a vote. Q.
Yeah, so this was tough for me. I am a Shawn Michaels fanboy through and through, and admittedly, I also think that Marty Jannetty was really good. I think he was a little bit underrated, actually. When he wasn't high, his in-ring work was phenomenal. But when we're talking about tag teams here, the whole body of it, accomplishments, their ability to sell and tell that story, the hot tags, I got to go with Midnight Express. I mean, for me, they did really set the blueprint for what it means to be a phenomenal tag team unit. I got to go with Midnight Express.
Which means it is a tie game coming down to me. I agree with both of these, to be perfectly honest. I would like to be the first person to announce the entire fuck you, Freddie, because I put them in a playing matchup. I don't know why, just whatever. Midnight Express wasn't even originally in this bracket until CJ brought them up, and I realized I happened to forget them. Shawn Michaels, by the way, last week, who did not actually get to listen to the episode yet, which dropped this morning, lost out in the first round against, I believe, CM Punk, and it was a shutout for best finishers. It was the Go to Sleep versus the Sweet Chin Music.
I think I'm more into the show, the music, and the everything else than Shawn Michaels' finisher. But Shawn Michaels is a damn good wrestler, so that was a hard one.
Shawn Michaels is a better wrestler than CM Punk overall, but the Go to Sleep is a better finisher. One, because nowadays the Sweet Chin Music or the Super Kick is used by legitimately everybody, and it doesn't put anybody down. The Go to Sleep puts you down.
Midnight Express will be getting my vote on this one. I'm going to be moving on to the first round. CJ starts us off. And you know what? Since he was the one that put Midnight Express in here, I'm going to give him this one. Is it Midnight Express or Demolition?
Oh, easy. Midnight Express. Demolition were they were a shitty version of Legion of Doom. I mean, they weren't even entertaining to watch, truthfully, like that much. So Midnight Express all day. I mean,
Gets a vote. Jamie.
Who am I voting on?
Midnight Express or Demolition?
I don't think I can do Demolition. I'm not into them. I'm gonna go with Midnight Express.
Gets a vote. Shanna.
Yep.
Yep. Trying to channel Chansey there. Austin,
Midnight Express all day.
with that, we'll be getting the win. Q.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more favorable of Demolition than maybe some of you guys, but I do agree. I got to go with Midnight Express overall.
Gets a vote and gets my vote as well. Dre
Sweep.
keeps good account. It is 7-0. It is a sweep going into the next round. The other playing matchup, by the way, Jamie starts us off. We have rated RK Bro versus FTR.
Ooh, RK Bro. RK Bro. I mean, Randy Orton, not only is that going to be my future husband, I mean, Riddle and I, we would be like BFFs, like, bro. Really? It's definitely RK Bro.
RK Bro gets a vote. Shanna.
I would give Matt Riddle a spin on the tilt-a-whirl. So Jamie and I will be attending the same social events. So I'm going with RK Bro.
Gets another one. Austin.
RK Bro is great. I think pairing Matt Riddle with Randy Orton brought something out of Randy Orton that we hadn't seen before, a little bit of comedy. But I can't think of any matches that RK Bro have had that match up to the quality of FTR. I got to give it to FTR.
FTR gets a
Austin, I
vote.
agree with you on that. It is true. I've never seen Randy Orton laugh as much as he did and have fun because Riddle is
Absolutely.
such a riot. That's true.
Q.
Yeah, FTR for me and pretty easy. I like RK Bro, but they work better to me as singles than they do as tag teams. I think it's FTR all day long.
It is a tie game coming down to me currently, and as I said before, I'm a bigger WWE fan than an AEW. It's not that I don't like AEW; it's a simple fact that I don't have the access to AEW that I would like to have. A lot of my access is actually post viewing, like on podcasts and stuff like that. That's how I actually follow along. But I do love the showmanship in a lot of stuff. Like I love the entertainment as far as the sports entertainment goes. And RK Bro reminds me of a lot of Daniel Bryan and Kane back in the day. Entire Team Hell No, where Kane was just kind of a hard ass type thing all the time, and then you add Daniel Bryan in there, and you go back to like the DX version of Kane, where he was kind of a funny type character. I will be going with RK Bro on this one. Going, just because I looked at the entire showmanship on that particular one. Dre.
So I am the opposite of Freddie.
Mhm.
I like in-ring wrestling more than I like sports entertainment. I do, and that's why I like AEW more than they do right now. However, big shout out to Randy Orton. He doesn't know if he's going to come back or not, but he is about to have another baby. So congrats to him.
Yep.
So congrats to him. Howard, though, from tag teams, it's 5-star FTR. Like, this is not my heart. They are one or two of the best tag teams right now. Right now, period. So FTR.
All right. Which means there's a tie-breaking decision coming down to CJ. Is it FTR or RK Bro?
Mad respect to Randy and Riddle for what they do. They're great, but I'm 100% with Dre, man. Like FTR is just minus maybe the Bucks. They're like the greatest tag team in the world right now. You know, like it's not even really close. Like, so I would go FTR.
Guess who's not invited to our weddings?
Yeah, but your wedding sound
Yeah.
like you wedding sound like orgies though, and I don't know if Emily will let me go to those. So
Well, I mean,
look, I'm voting with logic and not my heart here because you know there's a couple of these where it's going to come into play. Like I have to vote for logic over heart because my heart is like just going to go with one team all the way through. So
Next up, Shannon starts us off, and we are going Hardy Boys versus Outsiders.
Hardy Boys for sure.
We'll be getting a vote, Austin.
Yeah, I got to go with Hardy Boys as well. I think both Hall and Nash are better as singles wrestlers, whereas the Hardys kind of flounder as singles wrestlers and are better as a tag team. So got to go with the Hardys.
Q.
The Outsiders had a huge influence when they first came on the scene in WCW, but the Hardy Boys were literally my favorite tag team as a child. They got me invested in tag team wrestling before I discovered the older stuff. I got to go with the Hardys.
Hardy Boys gets another vote. I will be clinching this victory for the Hardy Boys as well. Their WrestleMania, was it 30? I can't remember if it was 30 or 31, but their surprise appearance.
Yeah.
I was trying to explain the entire pomp and circumstance of wrestling to my wife, who is not a wrestling fan at all. How in the hell we got together, I have no idea. But halfway mid-sentence, as I was looking at her, and that the entire music came up and that pop came up, stopped mid-sentence like the last episode of The Sopranos, turned directly at the freaking TV. That was one of my favorite WrestleMania moments of all time. Period. So Hardy Boys gets my vote on that one. And I'm not a huge fan of the Outsiders anyway. Dre.
I am a huge fan of the Outsiders. I'm not picking them, but I'm a huge fan of the Outsiders. Howard, though, Freddie's right. That WrestleMania moment still giving me goosebumps after I see it on YouTube. So, and also, the Hardys like 102 years old each, but they can still go though. They had a really, really, really good match with the Young Bucks literally on Wednesday, and it was still a good match. And so so I have to go to Hardys here.
I would love to see the that entire chainsaw death match that's supposed to be going on pretty soon, but just out of morbid curiosity. CJ, Hardy Boys, Outsiders.
Yep.
Gets another one. Jamie.
Absolutely the Hardy Boys. Some of their moves, I highly just enjoyed everything about them coming in on that WrestleMania. It made my day just like you. It was like I think I honestly stood up from the couch and started cheering as if I was there. So definitely Hardy Boys.
Hardy Boys with the sweep moves on to the next round. Austin starts us off on this one. We have the Brothers of Destruction versus the Mega Powers.
Ooh, damn. I'm gonna have to throw in a fuck you, Freddie. This is a tough one. I'm gonna go with the Mega Powers, just based solely on the story behind it. The Mega Powers coming together, and then the WrestleMania match that followed, just phenomenal. It's a great story. I got to go with the Mega Powers.
Mega Powers gets a vote. Q.
Yeah, so I think on paper, the Mega Powers, I mean, they call that for a reason. Those two huge names coming together. But my heart tells me I got to go with the Brothers of Destruction. I just love seeing Kane and Taker together, and they always make business.
I agree with the Brothers of Destruction on this. We're talking tag teams. The Mega Powers were two solo stars that came together. Story or not, the story was really good, but so was Kane and Taker's story as well, and that lasted like the lore of that is still going on to today, even though they're not really together or even wrestling anymore. Thank goodness. And with entire Paul Bearer, which by the way, I didn't get Paul Bearer, the name Paul Bearer, the pun Paul Bearer, till like Kane stopped wrestling. That's how stupid I am. But yeah, Brother Destruction gets my vote. Dre.
So out of all four wrestlers we're talking about, controversial topic. I'm gonna say it right now, but Hulk Hogan is the fucking worst wrestler. One overrated. That one keeps saying that. I keep saying Hulk Hogan fucking the trash. I hate watching wrestling matches. They're boring as shit to me. And God, truth, Macho Man is probably the best wrestler out of all four. So I'm going to go Brother Destruction here because I was more entertained by Undertaker King, but I would just say that right now, overrated. Hulk Hogan's over fucking rated. There you go.
Say Kane's not that good either. So there's that. CJ.
Well, I would have pretty much said exactly what Dre said, but Dre said it first. I am not a Hogan fan by any means. The man bores me to tears. So, all respect to Randy, but we got to go with the Brothers of Destruction on this one because, yeah. I can't in good conscience vote for anything Hogan related.
So Hogan gets knocked out in the first round on his 70th birthday today.
Burn.
Burn.
Let me play him a song.
I know. Violin.
I'm so
Jamie.
sorry. No.
Mega Powers, Brothers of Destruction.
Brother, let me tell you something. I am going to be voting for the Mega Powers purely on the fact of my childhood. I was very big fans of both of them. Very big fans. So when they got together, of course I was excited. I was very intimidated by The Undertaker, and I was very in awe of his performances and everything when I was younger. So when him and Kane did get together, it kind of blew my mind a bit. But I was still just on a childhood memory. I'm just gonna vote for Hogan because then like I said, I do have a customer that always talks to me and the Savage voice, so it makes it interesting to vote the Mega Powers that way. So that's
speaking of the entire brother thing, by the way, do you know why he kept doing brother all the time? It's because he met 1,000 people a day and couldn't remember people's names, so he just started calling people brother.
Same.
So just as a gimmick, and it worked.
At least he wasn't saying daddy. That would have been.
Oh.
Whoa. Whoa. That's
With that, Shanna, finish us out.
Can we just take a moment to appreciate excuse me. Hang on. It hit too hard. Shit.
Say, please hold for the next available Shanna.
We are gonna go with Brothers of Destruction.
Let's say I'm waiting for the entire robot voice, her just waiting to come back. Brothers of Destruction moves on 5-2 to the next round. Next up, Q starts us off. We have Team Hell No versus the New Day.
Okay, so just looking at these two teams and the breadth of what they've done. By the way, I think Daniel Bryan, I know we're talking about tag teams, but for Bryan Danielson, he's one of the greatest workers I've ever seen. Just such a technician. But we're talking about tag teams here, and the New Day, they went from being booed out of the arena when they first started to being one of the most beloved tag teams in WWE history. I'm going with New Day.
New Day gets a vote. I will also be going with the New Day. The New Day is one of my favorite tag teams of all time. Period. Short of the Usos, I believe they have the longest running tag team title going on as well. But as far as their antics, again, I'm a huge fan of the show, so they will be getting my vote definitely. Dre, Hell No or New Day?
They're technically a 12-time tag team champion. They got one tag team championship with the NXT. I love New Day. No disrespect to Team Hell No, but what was that? I'm reading about a year from change, and then what should have done. New Day been 8-9 years, and then a 12-time champion, 12-time champion. I got to go New Day here.
New Day gets another vote. CJ.
Considering I don't even remember who the other member of Team Hell No was, other than
Kane.
Daniel Bryan. Oh, was it
Kane?
Okay, yeah, New Day.
Jamie.
I absolutely love the New Day. Absolutely. Back in the day, my friend and I used to steal her brother's trombone and I would just take it out and play it for no damn reason. This is like back in the 90s. I had no reason for this, but just how they entertained during WrestleMania 33, I believe it was, as hosts, but then how they entertain in the ring and just their goofy ass shit they do. That is absolutely one of my favorite things to see come up on the screen when I'm watching wrestling. So I'm sorry to whoever the fuck the other choices were, but it's the New Day for me.
Speaking of the trombone, Jamie, can you name the trombone?
I won't look it up, but let me think about it. I feel like I could, but I don't remember what it was called right now.
Francesca was the name of that
Duh.
damn trombone. Shanna, New Day, Team Hell No.
Well, now that I'm able to breathe sufficiently, I was going to touch base on what I was going to say previously, is that I wanted to appreciate the ratio of scalp to hair on the previous matchups.
On both teams.
I have never seen so
Yeah,
many
I know.
skullets in my life. With that being said, I am going with New Day because I too appreciate pancakes.
And Austin, finish us up.
Man, never in the history of professional wrestling has a group of individuals come together and completely reinvigorated all three careers. Because of that, the New Day, all day.
New Day and a sweep. And if you add all the tag teams together that like this entire team has accomplished, that's like 20 tag team championships.
And
Because-
honestly, two of the things I've watched, they talk about the New Day every time as their top choice. I'm like, this is going to be a good one. If they're in there, it's over.
And I have a soft spot in my heart. I would love to see Big E come back when and if he gets healthy enough to do so. So I start us off on this one, and we have the Hollywood Blondes versus Los Guerreros. I'm going to be voting. I don't care about these two, to be perfectly honest. I'm going to be voting for Hollywood Blondes because I can't roll my R's. So trying to say Los Guerreros in the best way possible is not within my abilities. So Blondes gets my vote. Dre.
I'm sorry, but Eddie Guerrero is one of the most underrated, if not one of the best wrestlers of all time. Kind of true, in-ring wrestlers of all time. And Chavo is not bad either. So I'm gonna have to go with Los Guerreros.
Gets a vote. CJ.
Hollywood Blondes was a really good idea that just was executed so poorly that it fell on its face. I got to go with Guerreros on this, man, because Eddie and Chavo both were, they're kind of the precursors of LWO and LA Heat or not LA Heat, but LAX and a lot of those tag teams kind of kicked off from what Los Guerreros did. So, Los Guerreros.
Los Guerreros is up. Jamie.
I will have to agree with both Dre and CJ on this. To be quite honest with you, the beautiful blonde thing, whatever, it really flopped. It was really awkward. I didn't know it was Steve Austin at first, and it really blew my mind when I found out it was. But
Yeah, it's weird to see him with hair.
I know, right? But Eddie Guerrero and the whole Guerreros, I don't know. They're, like Dre said, underrated, and I'm gonna give it to them.
Shanna, Hollywood Blondes, Los Guerreros.
Well, Eddie Guerreros is like wrestling royalty. So with that and the fact that I want to see you awkwardly pronounce Guerreros all show long, I'm going to go with Los Guerreros.
Los Guerreros.
Fuck you, Freddie. Well, I just realized I don't have to roll my R's on this one, so it doesn't really matter. Los Guerreros gets a vote. Austin, Los Guerreros or Hollywood Blondes?
I gotta go with Los Guerreros. I think that, like CJ said, the Hollywood Blondes were a great idea, but they were paired up at a time where neither wrestler really knew who they were. I think later on in the '90s, if you team up Stone Cold as Stone Cold and you team up with Brian Pillman as the loose cannon character, God, that's a hell of a tag team. But when they were paired up in WCW, both guys were kind of floundering, not really knowing what they wanted to do or who they were. Los Guerreros, on the other hand, man, they knew what the gimmick was and they executed it flawlessly. I got to go with the Guerreros.
Hollywood Blondes at that time needed Kevin Sullivan with them. Sullivan would have just pushed them to what they should have been, and it would have been brilliant. But
I even screwed up on their names, so obviously they're not that good. I was calling them Beautiful Blondes. I don't even know what I was doing.
And Austin is right though. I mean, Brian Pillman, rest in peace, is another underrated wrestler. Like he could go in the ring, and like if he was the '90s, like '90s WCW Brian Pillman, or like the '90s WWE Brian Pillman, it probably been a little bit different. But it was pre when they didn't know what to do with those two, and Austin had hair, which I didn't like. So there you go.
It's just not normal. It's a thing of what nightmares are made of. Q, finish this out.
Yeah, I mean, Austin, you presented a cool idea that I'm upset I'll never get to see the '90s version of like Steve Austin and the Loose Cannon. Oh my goodness, that would have been just phenomenal. Unfortunately, that's not what we got. Both guys, really good workers, obviously, and Brian Pillman is just, but phenomenal worker still. But I mean, with all that going on, I can't and favor, give this to the Hollywood Blondes. They're good, but they're no Los Guerreros. Los Guerreros to me, they were everything that I personally liked in tag teams. They had charisma, ring work, high flying, psychology, which is a big thing for me. They had all that and succeeded well.
Los Guerreros moves on 6-1 to the next round. Dre starts us off on this one. We're going old school. We have Wild Samoans versus the Von Erichs.
It's actually a really good fucking matchup, actually, got the truth. Damn.
Nobody has blown their load.
No, I'm not going to on this one. But for right now, just off the top of my head, I'm going Wild Samoans. But that's actually a really, really hard one. I'm going to go Wild Samoans, though.
Wild Samoan gets a vote. CJ.
I gotta go with Wild Samoans on this one because again, the Von Erichs, man, were, it was so many good ideas that just collapsed in on itself because of the family history. Like it just, it was just one tragedy after another, and they didn't really have the longevity of their career the way the Samoans did. And Samoans are pretty nasty, so I mean, there were two guys you didn't want to have to fight. So I'll go with Samoans.
Gets another vote. Jamie.
I'm gonna have to acknowledge the Wild Samoans on this one. I'm gonna give it to them. I didn't really get into or know the Von Erichs very much. I just remember them looking awkward and not really totally digging all of the matches, but I don't know. I feel like the Wild Samoans just put on more of a show that kept my attention. So,
Shanna.
Jamie and I today seem to be having one brain, four boobs, because I'm agreeing with her again.
Oh, there you go. I got the ass, you got the brain, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Austin.
The Von Erichs were great for one rivalry and one rivalry only. And that was against the Freebirds, and anything else they did, I can throw away. So I got to give it the Wild Samoans. I just think they had a bigger, better presence and a bigger, better overall influence on pro wrestling.
Q.
Yeah, I'll be the outlier here. I'm going with the Von Erichs. I love their ability to make me feel, their ability to sell and to just elicit so much emotion from the fans. That's a huge thing for me. And not saying that the Wild Samoans didn't have that in a different way, but the Von Erichs for me, they just I always really appreciated those guys. So I'm with them.
Von Erich gets a vote. It will be the solo vote on this one. This is actually it's a really hard decision to do because both of these are well before my time. I'm not a huge fan of the entire old school wrestling because it's so far of a change from what I watch now, and it throws it off to a point for me that it's just kind of doesn't make it unwatchable, but it also kind of seems like I'm trying to watch like some kind of documentary video, and I'm waiting for like a bear just to come into the ring and somebody start wrestling a bear because it just seems that old school to me.
I would pay to see that.
So would I. The thing with both these two teams though is that they both have legacy to their names. They both have so much history to their names. But I'm going to give it to the Wild Samoans because their legacy is still going on today. You don't really hear a lot about the Von Erichs anymore. I don't even think any of their descendants are actually wrestling anymore. Where actually, the Samoans have.
Kevin's sons have a really great tag team right now, but that's
there you go. So, but the Wild Samoans, on the other hand, have a lot of descendants in wrestling. So, Wild Samoans gets my vote. It is a 6-1 decision on that one. CJ will be starting us off. We have
real quick. Can we amp up that bear match by including the cocaine bear?
I was kind of hoping to put Jake the Snake's snake in there. Made a cage match. Or
lions and tigers and bears and snakes. Let's do it.
Oh my!
I vote we throw Ryback in there with the bear. Just
yeah. He's a dissenting character. CJ starts us off. We're sticking old school. We have Rock and Roll Express versus a Heart Foundation.
Yeah, sorry. Mad respect to the Heart Foundation, but in my opinion, Rock and Roll Express is the greatest tag team of all time. You know, the moves, the tags, the musical entrance, everything that they did was just the foundation of modern wrestling, from the Bucks to FTR to I mean, the Hardys, Edge and Christian, all of that is built on what the Rock and Roll Express did. So, yeah, Rock and Roll Express all day.
Gets a vote. Jamie, is it Rock and Roll Express or the Heart Foundation?
It's not that I didn't enjoy the Heart Foundation. I just really wasn't into them. But I can recognize a lot of the moves that I know they helped make more known and more recognizable. My thing is that after what CJ just said, I want to yup his vote because if it helped the Hardy Boys get where they're at, I'm here for it. Giggity poo.
Shanna.
Samesies.
2 votes for 1. Austin.
I love the Heart Foundation. I love the idea, much like LAX, many years later, a great kind of technician, mat technician, and a big brawler together. I love those kind of tag teams. But if you love the way that tag team wrestling has been for the last 40 years, where your squeaky clean babyface gets beaten down and there's a big hot tag, you have the Rock and Roll Express, and you have Ricky Morton to thank for that. And because of that and the influence that they've had on tag team wrestling for decades after their prime, I have to go with the Rock and Roll Express.
And they're still
gets the vote. Gets the vote and the win on that one. Q.
Yeah, so admittedly, this is a little bit of bias. Back when I was an indie worker, I had the opportunity to work with Rock and Roll Express. I'm going with them. Those guys are so good, so smooth. And they got it.
I'm going to be the dissenting vote on this one particular. I'm just a fan of the Hart Foundation. I don't like Bret Hart, which is weird, but I like the entire view of that, and a majority, 90% of the storylines that came from the group. Even when they did the entire "fuck America" type deal, that was still I loved that entire storyline when it came down to it. So I'm gonna go for Hart Foundation on this one. Dre.
I'm also going to go for Hart Foundation on this one. I love Bret Hart and I love Jimmy Hart. I'm not nowhere near mad. Like, I'm not upset. Like, it wasn't like, some bullshit beat him. So I'm cool to win. However, if I would pick, it would be definitely the Hart Foundation.
Hart Foundation does stay in round one. Rock and Roll Trust moves on 5-2. We'll be right back right after this break. Dre, CJ, Shanna, Austin, and Q, do you have any ads that you would like to do this round? Or you're going to wait?
I'll wait.
Yeah, I have Dale Tiger in the background, so I probably can't. Sorry.
Okay.
I'll do one.
Go ahead. Yeah, I can do one this round as well.
Okay.
Shanna.
What do you want to do with your Tuesday? Do you want to watch something stupid on TV, or would you rather hear about a cold case? That's why you should check out Crime Rewind, where we tell the old, the cold, and often untold every Tuesday, wherever you get your true crime fix.
I would like to shout out Shannon and Amanda's show, by the way, as well, because they've actually done at least one. I haven't. I apparently I'm super busy. I haven't got to catch up lately, but they've done at least one wrestling show.
Yes.
Where I keep wanting to say Bruno, but that's not right. But
Dino Bravo.
Dino Bravo. They did that case a while back too, and they with their Facebook page too. They also keep up on the episodes and the topics they've done, so you get some updates on the cases and stuff that they may have helped with, or just kind of got the ball rolling type thing. So it's a good show, and it's got a good thought process and a nice little heart thing backing it as well. So I appreciate it.
Well, thank you for the shout out.
CJ, wanna wait?
No, I'm good.
Okay, Austin.
Yeah, Ice Cream Sunday is a weekly podcast. Obviously, Sunday morning podcast every week, hosted by Austin Buckner and Trevor Holder. We talk about movies, music, mental health, pro wrestling, mixed martial arts, really anything and everything under the sun. We talk about it. It is your new weekly tradition. We would love to have you. That is facebook.com/IC Sunday Podcast.
And Q, you want to go or you want to wait till later?
I'll wait till later.
All right. Welcome back for the second half of round one. It looks like Jamie will be starting us off on this one, and we have shit.
Oh.
I am going to split up a tag team on this one because we already had FTR and it's going into the second round already. But when I looked at FTR, when they said FTR before, I completely forgot about the Revival, which is a precursor to FTR. So it is the Revival, Jamie, versus the Usos.
Oh, I've been a big Usos fan for a while. Probably before they became relevant. I don't know. It was honestly, red and black's my favorite color. When I saw them coming up and I saw them separately, I'm like, why aren't they together more? Then they really started doing more with their storyline. So I don't know. It just brings back some memories. So I'm going to go with the Usos.
Usos gets a vote. Shanna?
Hashtag fuck you, Freddie. May you be mounted by a horny cocaine bear.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'm going to go with the Usos. I love them, but I also love the Revival. But I love the Usos more.
I would like to restate that the Usos are still technically in the bracket as being their FTR version. They've already made it to the second round, so bear be damned. Austin, Usos revival.
You know, I kind of like that you split up, even if it was by accident, FTR and the Revival.
Oh, I fucked up.
No, it's
I will
okay.
take that one.
The Revival was great in NXT, but they got to the main roster, they floundered. FTR, as it stands now, as the AEW World Tag Team Champions, that tag team is a far cry from what you saw on Raw and SmackDown in WWE. So I like that you fucked up and you split them up. But goddamn, if there is a number 2 best tag team in the world behind FTR, it might be the Usos. So I have to give the Usos the win against the Revival. Once we see a matchup between the Usos and FTR, it might get a little more difficult.
They're in the same quadrant,
Okay.
so it's possible.
All right.
Q, is it Usos or Revival?
This one is tough, but when I just look at pure ring work, crispness, and the ability to cut off the ring and just that psychology of it all, it's still hard to beat the Revival. I know that they were plagued by injuries when they got to the main roster, and they didn't have a whole lot to do. But man, when it comes to like me personally, my enjoyment, I love the Usos, but I gotta go with the Revival.
The Revival gets a vote. I will be going with the Usos on this one. One of my favorite things, actually, believe it or not, involved the Usos and the Revival at the same time. I know it was super bad booking, and I think they were just trying to piss the Revival off. But what is it? Usi Hot is still one of my favorite stupid wrestling things. That it's terrible, but it's hard not to laugh at for me. And it's one of my favorite things. The Usos, especially right now in the entire storyline they're going on, is one of my favorite storylines of all time. So I'd be giving it to Usos pretty much just period. Dre, Revival or the Usos?
So I'm with Austin. I am happy that you messed this up because I don't want to think about the Revival with FTR because FTR is fucking amazing and Revival was good at NXT, hands down. Love Revival NXT. Horrible. Fuck you, Vince McMahon, for what he did to Revival in WWE. That shit was horrible. All right. So Usos definitely over FTR, over the Revival. But if it goes FTR versus Usos, it's definitely something different.
Usos gets another vote. CJ?
Usos.
It is a 6-1 vote. Usos moves on. And Jamie, you're going to be super mad at me next round when you find out what that one is. Shanna starts us off, though. I'm really happy you're starting this one off because I just want to know what kind of jokes you're going to have going this one. We have the Bushwhackers
Dirty.
versus the Nasty Boys.
I'm forever 12.
Yeah, that Forever 21 store needs to flip their numbers around.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna have to go with the Bushwhackers. Nothing wrong with a good whacking of the bush.
Bushwhackers gets a vote. Austin, Bushwhackers or Nasty Boys?
This is difficult because I don't really care for.
He was gonna say this is hard.
But
I'm pretty sure that's what he thought about, and he changed it.
So, man, the Bushwhackers in WWE, WWF, not the greatest tag team. Entertaining, but not the best in ring. The Nasty Boys, I don't think ever had a good match. But if you go back and watch the Bushwhackers before they got to WWE as the Sheepherders, they were really one of the first tag teams to really bring that hardcore style to the States. So if you go back and watch the Bushwhackers before they became the Bushwhackers, they're actually a great tag team. And for that, I got to give it to the Bushwhackers.
Gets another vote. Q.
Yeah, Bushwhackers. I'm just keep it short and simple.
I will be going with Bushwhackers as well. Just going to be getting their vote. I actually met Luke.
Yep.
Yeah, Bushwhacker Luke when he came to Atumwa a couple of years ago for the for a local wrestling event, which is actually kind of cool. I didn't get a picture with him because I was broke as fuck that week, so I had to choose wisely. The Nasty Boys on the flip side of that, I just watched a match of theirs today, oddly enough, from Halloween Havoc to 98, about to say 2008, 98. They're going for the tag team championship in a hardcore match, and that hardcore match was quite entertaining. I enjoyed it. I hated the end because Harlem Heat actually won the match. It was false count anywhere, and it was like a mass thing, and they actually won in the backstage area, and they had two refs, and it was a botch referee job, and just kind of ticked me off, but still a good matchup. Bushwhackers gets my vote. Trey.
I would like to disagree with Austin for one thing. He said the Bushwhackers didn't have a good match. I disagree with that. When they fought Urkel and Carl Winslow on the Fame Matters, that's just fire. That's just fire. So for that alone, I'm going to Bushwhackers.
Wasn't the Bushwhackers on Family Matters? I thought it was Nasty Boys on the Bushwhackers.
No, it was the Bushwhackers.
Oh, that's awesome.
They had it.
I say Nasty Boys was on some TV show. I can't remember what it was, but
the Bushwhackers was going to fall for them because they was filling for friends with the mask. But then they found out Carl was a cop, and then they started whooping their ass. So, and then all the audience came in. Once all the audience come in, you got my heart right there. So Bushwhackers would win. There you go.
CJ.
You know what? I'm going to go with the fun aspect on this one. I think the Bushwhackers were way more entertaining to watch than the Nasty Boys. The Nasty Boys are just kind of stupid to me. So I'm going to go with Bushwhackers.
And Jamie, finish this up.
I really was grossed out by the Nasty Boys, so I'm going to give it to the Bushwhackers. They were fun to watch.
That was kind of the point, though, but okay.
I know, but it didn't set well with me. It bothered me. I'm like, why do we got to go that route? Why do we have to make it like that? I'm already uncomfortable. Let's not focus on that. But the Bushwhackers were just more entertaining, I guess, because when I first heard of the Bushwhackers, I would have not expected those two to be the ones that they were talking about. So I found that to be entertaining to me.
Bushwhackers move on in a 7-0 route. We'll lose in the next round in a 0-7 route. So there's that one.
You underestimate my joy for saying Bushwhackers.
That is true. Austin starts us off. We have the Rock and Sock Connection versus the Natural Disasters.
Ooh. That's a good one. I have to give it just pure entertainment. I have to give it to the Rock and Sock Connection. Natural Disasters were great. Two just huge guys, larger than life, especially in an era where it seemed like everyone was larger than life. But yeah, the Rock and Sock Connection was a lot of fun.
Gets a vote. Q.
Yeah, Rock and Sock Connection all day long for me. I just love the combination of Mick Foley and The Rock. It just shouldn't mix, but it does. They entertain the hell out of me. So going with Rock and Sock.
I'm gonna go with Rock and Sock Connection too. There was a time where the "This Is Your Life" segment was the top rated segment like of all time up to that point. It has changed since then. I don't know what it is now, but granted, the metrics are completely different nowadays too. So kind of a little bit harder. But Rock and Sock is my vote. Dre, is it Rock and Sock or Natural Disasters?
So the better in-ring tag team is Natural Disasters, probably to me. However, though, overall, I'm not going to be full again. Rock and Sock, so Rock and Sock wins.
Rock and Sock gets a vote and the win on that one. CJ.
I'm sorry. Rock and Sock and who?
The natural disasters.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Rock and Sock. I mean, natural disasters were big and imposing, but kind of zero charisma, other than just their size and it's Mick Foley. I mean, so yeah.
Yep.
Jamie.
The big old Rock'em Sock'em.
And Shanna, finish this out.
There are very few wrestlers who I consider as unhinged as myself, and Mick Foley is definitely one of them. So I gotta go with Rock and Sock.
In a sweep, the Rock and Sock connection moves on to the next round. Q starts us off. We have the Road Warriors versus the New Age Outlaws.
Oh man. Okay, so I mean, I am a '90s kid, so I want to go with the New Age Outlaws, but I just can't deny the dominance of LOD. So I'm going with Legion of Doom on this one.
Road Warriors gets a vote. I'm going to go. See, this is where I'm torn here because I love the gimmick and the showmanship and everything else that New Age Outlaws have, but I also know the wrestling abilities that the Road Warriors have and the history that Road Warriors have. So it would be really sacrilegious of me to go for the New Age Outlaws, but I say fuck you to a lot of people, so I'm gonna go with the New Age Outlaws anyway. Just for shits. Dre.
The New Age Outlaws shouldn't have worked. It really shouldn't have. But it did. It worked so fucking well. And that's because, too, they joined DX as well, so we'll make sure that's said as well. But it worked so well. But my mom will kill me if I don't pick LOD. So I'm going to go. So I'm going to go LOD.
Does your mom watch this show? Because
she watches everything I'm on.
That's a demographic I never thought about.
So yeah, I have to go LOD.
CJ, LOD or New Age Outlaws?
Oh man, it breaks my heart to vote against New Age Outlaws because Road Dogg is like one of my biggest wrestling heroes, and I wore my hair like him for years and still kind of do, but it's Road Warriors, man. Like I can't go against the Road Warriors. I'm sorry. Like it's Legion of Doom, like
Road Warriors gets a vote. Jamie, the New Age Outlaws or the Road Warriors?
Well, yep, that vote. Road Warriors, please.
Road Warriors gets a fourth vote and the win on that one. Shanna?
I'm also going to go with Road Warriors.
Austin?
You know what's funny is when I looked at the list, I like the Road Warriors for their presentation. I can't really think of a great Road Warriors match, but I can think of a lot of great Road Warriors promos. I can think of some very legendary entrances for the Road Warriors. So I was thinking, man, if you put like the Road Warriors against the Rock and Roll Express, I'm going to pick the Rock and Roll Express every time. A great tag team versus great presentation.
Dude, you had the scaffold match, Midnight Express versus LOD.
I only like that match because Jim Cornette got very hurt in that match. But you put a team like Road Warriors that's all presentation against the New Age Outlaws, which is also for the most part all presentation. And by the slimmest of margins, I have to go with LOD.
LOD gets a vote. It is 6-1. Having said that, I'm going to go ahead and release this information, and we'll start out with the next round. Midnight Express will be going against the Road Warriors next round.
Oh shit!
So, just so you know, that was cute. But so, who's got sound on in the background?
I'm not saying this to you for you to think that I'm over here trying to
That's
be
DJ.
a gangster or anything like that, trying to be.
CJ.
See this? I'm just telling you this as a father that I was not there. I was
Can you mute him?
I understand.
Yeah, I
There we
did.
go.
There you go. he's having issues over there. All right, I start this one off, and we have. God damn it. Okay, we have the Shield versus the Young Bucks.
God damn it, Freddie.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Oh God.
Ooh.
As I said before, I do not have the ability to watch AEW as much as I would like. I also, but to be honest, like the Young Bucks, as far as legacy and everything else, as far as how long they've been together and the impact that they've had on tag team wrestling, how tag team wrestling is their major thing. The Shield is 3 mainstream stars that became mainstream stars together and then moved apart. So even though I'm not a big fan of AEW, I will be going with the Young Bucks on this one. Trey.
Freddie really wanted me to say the "fuck you, Freddie" thing. I feel like he did this matchup just so I can start saying that shit. Right?
I'm surprised you haven't yet, actually, because there's been some stuff that not aimed at you, but like I'm just surprised.
He's baiting you. He's baiting
He really is.
Well, I am a master baiter on that one.
Dude,
you.
so the Shield, I love the Shield. Me and Harvey, who's a regular on the show, we debate all the time with the best that I do think. And again, this is just me thinking. I do think that as a whole clique or a stable, the Shield better than the Four Horsemen. Yeah, I said it. I'll say it again. I do think that.
I agree with that, actually.
Okay. So, however, though, the Young Bucks is either first or second. I might go put third. I can't put Usos. I put Usos no third, but either first or second best tag team right now, hands down. There's no other tag team stopping them. And God is truth. If I could make a dream Forbidden Door match, WWE AEW, I would love to see the Young Bucks versus Usos. Oh my goodness, that shit would be fucking amazing. Howard, though, this not gonna be a fuck you, Freddie, but it's really close. I'm going to go with the Young Bucks here.
That was actually more of a debate than I thought it was going to be. Young Bucks gets a vote. CJ.
We muted you, bud.
He's not talking to us anyway.
Oh, yeah, he is. We muted you.
No, I think he's talking off stage. We're going to skip him until he's figures out to unmute himself.
No,
Jamie.
he's not.
No. Freddie, you get to unmute him.
Oh,
I got it. Sorry.
No, yeah, he can do it. I've done it multiple times. Giggity.
Yeah, I hit the wrong button. I have the ex-wife's ex-husband threatening me and all that on voice text and all that for some shit that happened supposedly 10 years ago, blah, blah, blah. I apologize. Right. Young Bucks all day on this one. Yeah, I mean, not even close. Sorry.
For legal reasons, I'll make sure to edit that part out.
Yeah, like I said, dude, it's just completely stupid. You know, there's not even any sense for him to email me about his divorce from my ex-wife when they've been divorced for 16 years. You know, like why you messaging me about your divorce from her? I've been divorced from her for 3 years myself. Like, you know.
All right, Jamie.
I'm sorry. It's a mess.
Yeah.
All right. Young Bucks get that vote. Jamie, is it Young Bucks or Shield?
I really became became more of a Seth Rollins and a Roman Reigns fan with the Shield. Dean Ambrose, I was always little back and forth on for some reason. Took me quite a while to warm up to him, but I'd take them all the time, any day. The Shield.
Um, if you weren't really a Dean Ambrose fan, you probably would be a major John Moxley fan.
Well, I mean, I've watched the John Moxley stuff too. And I don't mind. It's just taken me a while. I just don't know why there was an immediate attention to Seth right away. I mean, being Iowa boy, that makes a big deal. But then Roman and being attached to their characters a little bit longer, it just took me a while. And some really good documentaries and learning a bit more about behind the character. That's what made me end up liking his character more and liking what he did in the ring. So I mean, it was weird how it started for me, but the Shield was what brought me back into watching wrestling again. It was one of their matches. I don't remember what one it was, but it was a really good one. And I'm like, why have I stopped watching wrestling? So
all right, Shanna, is it the Shield or Young Bucks?
It is definitely the Shield, and I am on the same boat as Jamie, where like I loved the characters as a team, and then I loved them when they separated. I really love the Shield. That is all.
Austin, is it the Shield or Young Bucks?
I want to go back to what Dre said about great factions, and the Shield might be the greatest faction of all time, based solely on the fact that all three members became world champions after they split. I think the only other faction to do that, and I know that Ric Flair was a world champion before Evolution, but man, Triple H, Randy Orton, Batista all became world champions as well. Great faction. But this isn't the greatest faction tournament. It's the greatest tag team tournament. And when you talk about tag team wrestling, just like Dre said, there is no better tag team in the world right now than probably FTR and the Bucks. I got to give the win on this one to the Bucks.
Well, as far as the faction stuff goes, it's like New Day went on with the sweep, and they're a faction.
True, but together as a tag team in their matches, they're also incredible. All three combinations, whether you put Big E and Kofi, or Xavier and Kofi, or
that's the best part. Always happy with the matchups. Always happy with who's involved.
And with the New Day, with the New Day, then the Freebird rule, so anyone of them could did it. So that's why it's way more for a tag team than a faction to me, because of that rule.
The Young Bucks will be moving on to the next round. Q, what is your vote?
I will be the outlier here. I am not a fan of the Young Bucks. I just spot monkey shenanigans, just lack of just big move after another. It just doesn't really do it for me. I understand the appeal for them, however, but for me, it's easily the Shield.
Young Bucks move on in a split vote, 4-3 to the next round. Dre starts us off. We have the Steiner brothers versus Harlem Heat.
What the fuck again? Oh, I love Harlem Heat, but fucking god damn it! Oh, sorry, Dean Tucker's on the background.
This is a fuck you, Freddie moment.
Oh my god, we're very close to it. Jesus Christ!
I'm pretty sure if he didn't have food in his mouth, it would have been a fuck you, Freddie moment.
Oh my god, I love Harlem Heat, but Steiner. Oh god damn! Just because, all right, I know I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to Steiner Brothers. Listen, again, I think that in ring, I'm always going to go in ring before entertainment, and I think no, that's not true either. God, because they both had great matches.
Nobody has blown their load.
I might blow my load for this one. I'm not blowing my load in the first round. That's not happening. All right, fuck it. I'm going Harlem Heat here. I flipped a coin in my head, and then that just came down. Harlem Heat. There you go.
Harlem Heat gets a vote. CJ.
Okay. Two tag teams at the absolute top of their game around the same time. But I'm going to bring race into this one. There were other teams like the Steiners doing what the Steiners did. There were no black tag teams like Harlem Heat before or really after for a long time. I got to go with Harlem Heat just based on how groundbreaking they were for black wrestlers and minority wrestlers and the things that not just Booker T, but even Stevie Ray did for the sport, man. And then, of course, Booker coming from his background to achieve what he achieved is so huge. So I got with Harlem Heat.
Harlem Heat gets a vote. Jamie?
We'll have to play off of what CJ said, exactly what Booker T shared with everybody about his past and how he went for where he went from and how he had to get to where he is now and how he's still continuing. And so I am going to give it to Harlem Heat. They were a lot of fun to watch. I do give mad props to the Steiner brothers, but Harlem Heat.
Shanna?
Booker T is in like my top 5 favorite wrestlers of all time. He is so much fun to watch. So I'm going to have to go with Harlem Heat.
He's a terrible announcer, though. Just grinds my gears. I'm sorry. He does.
I'm not gonna lie. I 1,000% agree. The reason why I don't watch NXT that much is because of Booker T. He cannot. I hate the Chuck the Quack Quack, all that kind of good shit. He stole that from Chucky Ducky, actually, and I hate all of it. He's right about that.
Austin, is it the Steiners or Harlem Heat?
Can we mute him again?
Sorry, my bad.
No,
it's hard to
CJ.
vote against the Steiners as a big fan of like big stupid suplexes. That kind of like that strong style, style of pro wrestling. But Harlem Heat was just different. When they came along, it was just something that you'd never seen before. And I hate to be the one that votes on presentation, but there was no better tag team that had no better gear than Harlem Heat. Their gear was the shit. Harlem Heat takes the vote by the narrowest of margins.
Q.
This is razor thin for me. This is so close. And it's tough, but I'm just going to leave my heart on this one and go Harlem Heat.
Harlem Heat gets that vote. Harlem Heat gets the win and the sweep on that one. I'm a fan of Harlem Heat, and I don't like to bring race into this either, to be perfectly honest. But I agree with CJ on the fact that it from like a kid from the north that really didn't grow up with a lot. I grew up in a mostly white neighborhood for the most part, so seeing somebody who was different from me on the TV doing something that I wanted to do was actually kind of a cool experience for me. And then you go back later on in life and you do find out about the background situations and what he had to do and the chances that he had and everything else, that he didn't just want the quick fix in there. He actually went and did it the hard way the entire time. Again, don't like his announcing. Sometimes I just press mute and watch the wrestling because I'm a huge fan of NXT. But yeah, Harlem Heat gonna be getting my vote for that. Not only for the presentation, the ring gear, which was on fire, no pun intended. The moves, I still don't like the entire scissor kick though. I don't know why, I just don't. But Harlem Heat will be getting my vote. CJ will be starting us off on this one, and we have the Freebirds versus the Dudley Boys.
Damn, Freddie, you're killing me.
I tried.
You know what? All things being equal, the Freebirds were great for their era. But the Dudleys have something that no other tag team or no other wrestler has. in the fact that they have the only wrestling finisher that has never been kicked out of. The 3D. The 3D has never been kicked out of.
It's been kicked out of multiple times.
No, actually, it's never.
You can go look that up. I guarantee it's been kicked out multiple times.
They have protected it. Trust me, it's never been kicked out of. So we're going with the Dudleys.
Dudley Boys gets a vote. For this one, by the way, I will allow Spike Dudley to be considered in this group because the Freebirds had 3 as well.
I'm not talking about Spike.
I love Spike. Spike was great. Jamie, Dudley Boys, Freebirds.
Pretty sure I was mad at Freebirds last time we had a wrestling podcast. Listen for it.
Freebirds!
I was mad at them. So we're going with the Dudley Boys. I mean, come on, they made a fun time. Though I wasn't quite impressed with one of their comebacks. I don't mind the Dudley Boys. They had some good moves, so I'll give it to them.
Shanna. Is on mute. There she is.
Yeah. Look at me, I'm an adult. I am gonna go Team Dudley Boys.
Gets another one. Austin.
I'm going to repeat something that Dre said earlier about the New Age Outlaws. If you look at Devon and you look at Bubba, that tag team should not have worked. And they made it work for many, many years. 3D is probably one of the most protected and one of the most spectacular tag team finishers of all time. And they won championships all over the world. Their longevity, their dominance, I got to give it to the Dudleys.
Q.
If I were born 10 or 15 years earlier, I know for a fact I would go with the Freebirds, but I wasn't. I got to go with the Dudleys.
I will also be going with the Dudleys on this one. Part of some of my favorite matchups of all time with Edge and Christian and the Hardys and everything else. It's just great. Dre.
The Dudleys literally won a tag team gold and did every wrestling promotion there is. Outside of maybe I think Japan. I think maybe. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that. However, though, TNA everywhere, ECW, like all they do is win. And I'm a big fan because when I think of the Dudleys, I think of hardcore, and I'm really big fan of hardcore matches. So I have to go Dudley Boys here.
In a sweep, Dudley Boys moves on. Last matchup in this one, and Jamie starts us off. We have Edge and Christian versus LAX.
Oh, really? Edge and Christian, there's something about I enjoyed their matches the most, I guess, but yeah, I'm gonna go Edge and Christian. Fuck it.
Gives it out, Shanna.
I'm pretty sure that Edge and Christian's tag team efforts are what got me through puberty. So I'm going to go with Edge and Christian.
I mean, I shouldn't feel bad. Lita did that for me. So,
right.
Yeah. Austin, Edge and Christian or LAX?
So if you look at the grand scheme of things, Edge and Christian weren't really together that long as a tag team. Great matches, don't get me wrong. The triangle ladder match, the 2 TLC matches. I mean, that put tag team wrestling on the map in a time that no one cared about tag team wrestling. And I know that not as many people watched TNA during the prime of LAX that they did, like the Attitude Era when Edge and Christian were a tag team, but they also had some unbelievable matches. I think of LAX versus Styles and Daniels in Ultimate X, one of the greatest tag team matches that no one talks about. Just because I want to see where it goes with everyone else's vote, I'm going to give it to LAX.
LAX gets a vote. Q.
I got to go with ENC, Edge and Christian. They're one of my favorite tag teams ever. Those guys are phenomenal. I could never vote against them.
I am a WWE fan pretty much over everything else. It's because of kind of location. But I have seen some LAX matchups, and they are fan-fucking-tastic. And Edge is great. Christian is always compared to Edge, and I don't think that's absolutely fair because he won't. I don't think he's as good as Edge is. But as far as LAX goes as a team, and everything else with that, how that goes, I'm gonna give it to LAX. And again, I'm gonna be like Austin. I want to see where this goes. Dre.
My daughter says that I pick right, so I have to pick right. I love Edge and Christian. I do. I mean, again, much about hardcore and gimmick matches, ladder matches, TLC matches, all that kind of good stuff. I love it. LAX is a better tag team. Yeah, that's just 1,000% true. So I'm going to go with LAX.
So it is a tie game, and CJ is the deciding vote on this one, and it's the first time this has come up so far. So CJ, do you want to know who will be facing in the next round before you choose?
No, it's not going to make a difference, truthfully.
Okay.
Edge and Christian, I think, much like the Hardy Boys, it wasn't so much about their skill set as it was just their pure energy that they brought. LAX, though, was just kind of next level. And like Dre said, they were a better tag team. And, you know, they were more, I think they worked better. You know, like just, I don't know. There was something about LAX that Edge and Christian didn't have. So I'm going LAX.
LAX get the vote. I would just like to say, too, that LAX was not originally in this bracket and just knocked out Edge and Christian. So,
people need to watch the TNA matches.
I don't know. 4-3. That is the end of the first round. We'll be right back right after this break. Dre, you're going to pass on ad?
No, I'm gonna do it, but
okay. I thought you.
Okay. Is there another break at this?
At the end of round 2, which should be coming up in about 15-20 minutes or so, depending on content.
All right, yeah. Let me do the last one.
Okay, CJ.
I'm good, man. I don't do commercials or anything. So.
All right, Q.
Yeah, if you guys don't mind. So be sure to check out the Superhero Homies podcast coming August 17th. There will be a full review of the latest superhero movie, Blue Beetle. So if you guys know Blue Beetle, or if you don't, either way, it'll be a good time. The first half of the podcast will be spoiler free. The second half would be spoiler filled. And in the first half, we'll give overall vague thoughts about the movie, the premise, the breakdown, without actually spoiling any details. And we'll also be talking about the comic book aspects of the character as well, and how the movie stacks up against that. And then the second half will be the Wild Wild West, spoiler filled. It'll be a great time all around, so be sure to check that out.
All right. Hey guys, it's Freddie here. I would like to go ahead and let you guys know about Bastards Backstage. We have a question and answer type interview type thing where we do with everybody who's been on the show pretty much, and a lot of the current and previous Bastards. Like, for instance, how do you describe the color yellow to a blind man? How would your family describe you? And my favorite question of all, a penguin waddles his way through your doorway wearing a sombrero. What does he say to you, and why is he there? Find out the answer to these questions, a whole bunch more, when you check out Bastards Backstage. All right. With me, I got one more later on because we have a show coming up later. But all right. Welcome back for round 2. It is, and it looks like Shannon will be starting us off on this one, so good luck to her. We have the Hardy Boys versus the Usos.
Fornicate you, Freddie. I'm gonna go with the Usos.
This is the one that I wanted to give to Jamie, but then I realized that I want her to kind of think about it, so it'd be a good idea for her to go last. So
Let her stew.
Probably would have blown my load over them anyways.
and you can't now that you're going last. So say that
okay.
Austin, Usos, Hardy Boys.
This is tough. I think both have really given a lot to the industry of professional wrestling. I think the Usos are better in ring than the Hardys. So I'm going to give this to the Usos.
Q.
Yeah, man. We've had some tough ones. For me personally, this is one of the toughest. But I got to go with the Hardy Boys on this one.
Crap. I'm gonna go with the Usos as well. Like I like their matches more. Hardy Boys have good moments, but as far as matches goes, Usos have better matches. So as an entirety, Usos would be getting my vote. Dre.
I 1,000% disagree with that. I don't think the Usos have better matches than the Hardys. Hardys has legendary matches, God and truth. And they do it outside WWE. And I know we put the bubble in WWE, but the Hardys do it outside WWE. Again, like I just said, they just had a great match, a really good match with the Young Bucks on Wednesday. And that's just a house show, basically. This is a hard one to do because I like the Usos, but I like the Hardys as well. For Impact alone, fuck. I'm going to Usos here. So Impact will be Hardys, but Usos, because they're 11 time champion, the longest reigning champions of all time, and I do think that they can wrestle any promotion, i.e., I would love to see them in AEW. I'd love to see them in New Japan. So I will go with the Usos here.
Usos gets to vote and the win on that one. CJ.
I'm going with Hardys. For whatever it's worth.
Jamie.
Why? Fuck you, and fuck you, Freddie. Fuck you again. With a PS, maybe fuck you postal code 5021. Fuck you. I mean, we can go for 7 times a fuck you because that might work for me today. This is really effing hard. So, and that's a giggity poo. Fuck you, Freddie. I think my mom would be saying fuck you to you also because this is making her look bad that she raised a daughter with such a potty mouth. So, the Usos, fuck you.
10 fuck you in a single vote. 5-2 Usos moves on to the next round. Austin starts us off on this one, and we have the Brothers of Destruction versus the Rock and Sock Connection.
Ooh. I always like to vote for the better in-ring 9 times out of 10. I think The Rock is great. I think Mick Foley is great. As a tag team, I think the Brothers of Destruction are just that much better.
Brothers of Destruction gets a vote. Q.
Good grief, man.
It'll get worse and worse as we go on.
I'm feeling the heat, man. This is good. This is really good. Oh man, I'm not stalling. Did we never got this match, did we? Like in
I don't think we did, no.
Yeah. It's a shame. It could have and should have happened. Anyways, tough one. I'm going with Brothers of Destruction.
Gets a vote. I'm gonna go Rock and Sock Connection, dude. That was I love that presentation. And they're down by votes, so I'm gonna go for them. Dre.
I'm actually going to go with Brothers Destruction as well. I do think that they were a better overall tag team than Rock Sock. And then again, Brothers Destruction was again a longer time period as well. Boxing Connection only lasted again like a year or two.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Less than 2 years at least.
so I'm definitely going to go with Brothers Destruction.
CJ.
I'm gonna go with Logic on this one. I'm gonna go Brothers of Destruction.
With
My
that,
heart is still gonna be Rock and Sock, but you know, Logic. So Brothers of Destruction.
All right.
Brothers of Destruction. With that, we'll be moving on. Jamie, what's your vote?
I'm really surprised by that. I don't know. This is a good matchup, like a fun one. We did a good job here. I'm gonna go with Rock and Sock. So I'm gonna go with good old Mick Foley. He was entertaining with the Rock.
And Shanna.
I'm going Rock and Sock.
In a split decision, it is 4-3. Brothers of Destruction move on. Q starts us off, and we have the Young Bucks moving on 4-3 versus the New Day in a sweep.
All right. This one actually isn't that tough for me. I gotta go with New Day.
Jamie.
I love their charisma, love their energy. I love their ring work. Yeah, New Day for me.
New Day gives a vote. For everybody out there who listens on like Spotify and all the other spot catchers, you need to watch the show. If Jamie, actually, you need to watch the show, period. But if Jamie or Harvey are on here, just the antics, the facial expressions, and everything else that happens in the background, absolutely fantastic. New Day gets a vote, though. I will be going for New Day as well. Again, it's going to be kind of a presentation thing for me. It's not that I'm not a fan of the Young Bucks. I appreciate everything they've done, but I've been a fan of New Day since day one ish. Pun fully intended on that one. So New Day will be getting my vote. Dre.
I'm going with the better in-ring workers. I love the New Day. And don't get me wrong, I'm okay with either one of these moving on. But the best in-ring tag team is the Young Bucks. That's not even a question. Nowhere near it. The Young Bucks can do it legitimately in any state, in any wrestling promotion, and they have done it in every wrestling promotion. I'm going to go Young Bucks here.
Young Bucks gets a vote. CJ.
Yeah, I gotta go with Dre. Again on this one, I think the Young Bucks have to go over a New Day.
Jamie.
Oh, my girl Jordan was in the comments. Love you too. Absolutely the New Day. Shut the front door, and if it's shut, open it and close it, because that's the end right there. Winner on the New Day.
Shanna.
Give me the waffles. I'm going New Day.
Well, they're pancakes, but I get your point.
I like all breakfast pastries.
As do I. Austin, finish this up.
I think that gives the New Day the win, but I'll make it a little bit closer and give it to the Bucks. They're the better in-ring talent.
And I also have a feeling that the New Day will be moving on to the Final Four as well after that matchup. New Day moves on 4-3 to the next round. I start this one off. We have the Dudley Boys moving on 7-0 from last round versus the Wild Samoans moving on 6-1. Wild Samoans were before my time. The only reason I voted for them before was because of their legacy and the stuff that they brought to the game. The Dudley Boys, however, I'm a huge fan of hardcore wrestling. I'm a huge fan of their creativeness in the ring and some of the stuff that they've done. Even power bombing Mae Young off the stage lives in my brain rent free. Dudley Boys will be getting my vote. Dre.
I'm definitely going to Dudley Boys as well. Again, they do it everywhere. I mean, and then Bubba's still wrestling to this day. So I'm going to go with Dudley Boys.
CJ.
Dudley's.
Jamie.
I have to say I enjoy the Dudley Boys whenever I see them, and they wrestle everywhere, but they're more entertaining outside of WWE. I have found that. I'm gonna give it to the Dudley Boys.
Shanna?
I think I'm gonna go Dudley Boys too.
Austin?
Yeah, just like Dre said, the Dudleys have done it everywhere at a high caliber everywhere. I think other than maybe Rob Van Dam, the greatest export from ECW, got to give it to the Dudleys.
Q.
The Wild Samoans are legendary, but I mean, Team 3D, the Dudley Boys, are one of the greatest tag teams ever. I'm going with Dudleys.
Dudley moves on in a sweep to the next round. This should be another one, too. Dre starts us off. We have the Bushwhackers moving on in the sweep from last round versus FTR.
Oh, okay. I found the Bushwhackers entertaining. Again, the best match I've ever had was with Urkel. However, though, 5-star FTR is 5-star FTR. Again, 5-star. They only have 5-star matches. Almost damn near on 5-star matches, all right? So, and I think somebody talked about they had a match with Young Bucks on CM Punk on Saturday. That match was fucking fire. That match was a fire ass match. So, FTR is the best. They are the greatest tag team today.
CJ.
Yeah, FTR
gets another vote. Jamie.
Sorry, I was making sure my dogs were done spazzing out over here. FTR versus who?
Bushwhackers.
Yeah, Bushwhackers.
Shanna.
As the proud owner of a bush that hasn't been whacked in a long time, I'm going Bushwhackers.
I think you killed Freddie.
The fuck?
Wouldn't be the first time.
Oh, that might be opening drop. I'm just letting you know. Bushwhackers gets a vote on that one. Austin.
I feel like everyone said "fuck you, Freddie" on the votes that are difficult between two tag teams. I'm gonna say "fuck you, Freddie" on this one because it is the easiest vote of the tournament so far. It's FTR all day.
I would have laughed if you went Bushwhackers on that one. That would have just been a total swerve. Q.
Yeah. I mean, FTR. There really isn't much discussion to be had here. Appreciate the Bushwhackers, but I mean, FTR is FTR.
With FTR moving on, I'm gonna vote for Bushwhackers just because I love Shanna.
Thank you. Love you back, good sir.
That's the only damn reason. Anybody that can make me stop for more than 10 seconds when I should be talking, it just money in my book. Next up, CJ starts us off. We have the Road Warriors versus Midnight Express.
Let's go back to that scaffolding match, man. Still one of the great matches. Like Austin said, seeing Cornette fall 40 foot on his ass, you know. Man, I love Road Warriors Legion of Doom, but Midnight Express, they were just groundbreaking at that time, man. Like them and the Rock and Roll Express just elevated the game to new levels. So I got to go Midnight Express.
Gets a vote. I would like to reiterate that nobody has blown their load so far. Jamie.
Midnight Express, because I don't know. These ones don't really get me all excited like the other tag teams that we have mentioned on this bracket. So I'll just go with Midnight.
Gives a vote. Shanna.
Feel the rush.
I'm going Road Warriors.
Dude, that is probably one of my favorite intros to a song that I've ever heard. Just and it always is going when we do our next wrestling theme. By the way, for people out there, is going to be wrestling theme songs. And for Royal Rumble season, so look forward to that one. But yeah, the Road Warriors is definitely going to make a seed into that one. Austin, Road Warriors, Midnight Express.
This is tough because when a lot of people, probably my age, I'm 34 years old. Anyone older than that, I think when you talk about tag team wrestling, the Road Warriors are the first tag team to come up. But I think a lot of that was presentation. They had a few great matches, sure. The Starcade scaffold match that CJ mentioned is a great match, and maybe this is biased because I met Bobby Eaton and he was the nicest fucking dude in the world. And I think he's honestly one of the more underrated wrestlers of all time as well.
Dennis is too.
Dennis was so fucking good.
Super awesome.
Shoot, by a very narrow margin, I have to give it to the Midnight Express.
Gets a vote. Q.
All right. Oh man, this right here is a very interesting one because I love both of these tag teams for slightly different reasons. You know, we got the Road Warriors who had just the presentation, the presence, the intimidation factor, the size, the strength, and then you got Midnight Express who had just the charisma, the ability to sell so well and to just elicit that emotion again and to tell a story in the ring. And I think that's probably why those two teams work so well together. But enough pontificating. I got to go with the Midnight Express overall. This was a tough one, but man, yeah, it's close, but Midnight gets it.
Midnight Express gets the vote and the win off of that one. I'm going to go with the Road Warriors on this one just to keep it close. Dre.
I love that. I love that shit right there. I'm going to go LOD just to keep it closer than it should. So I'm going LOD.
That theme song was like my ringtone for a solid year. It used to scare the crap out of my daughter when it went off. It's hilarious. Jamie starts us off. We have Harlem Heat versus Los Guerreros.
Oh, Harlem Heat. Gotta give it to Booker T.
Gets a vote. Shanna. Did she can't find mute again, or she lost?
Sorry, there was a fight between the cats.
Cat fight.
Literally, and neither of them have claws. So I kind of got enthralled because there was no danger. What were the options again?
Los Guerreros versus Harlem Heat.
Harlem Heat. And just before anybody comes at me, my cats are old and I did not declaw them, if you're listening.
That did actually go through my mind, but then I know about your cats. So
yeah.
Austin, Harlem Heat or Los Guerreros?
This is another tough one. I think no, because Harlem Heat was together for quite a while in WCW, and Guerreros were too. And I think both tag teams are very similar in the regard that Eddie went on to become a world champion, Booker went on to become a world champion, and then their tag team partners didn't do a whole lot. You know,
they're both family too.
Exactly. So God, it's tough. Guerreros, and I don't have a reason for it. Just it felt right.
It was all right. That is the first vote against Harlem Heat this entire game so far, though. Q, is it Los Guerreros or Harlem Heat?
Toughy. But I am going with Los Guerreros. And I was searching through my mind trying to find a reason why they choose one team over the other. And it comes down to at times choosing bullshit reasons, you know, just because it's so tough. And overall, I think I slightly enjoy the in-ring work of Los Guerreros more than Harlem Heat. So giving it to them.
I couldn't care less, to be perfectly honest, for either one of these teams. I'm not a big WCW fan anymore. Like I'll watch them just to realize how bad it was back in the day. But I'm gonna give it to Los Guerreros to keep it close. Dre, Harlem Heat, Los Guerreros.
So Sasha says Harlem Heat.
Harlem Heat. It is a tie game. We do have the next matchup. CJ, do you want to know who will be facing in the next round?
No, I'm good. It don't matter. I don't know which way to go on this one. I'm kind of like Austin, man. Like there's really no good reason, but I gotta go with Harlem Heat. I think I saw them more than I saw Los Guerreros, and they kind of outlasted them a little bit, and I think in a head-to-head that they win. So we'll go with Harlem Heat.
Harlem Heat moves on to the next round, 4-3. We'll be facing another 4-3 in round 3. Last up in round 2, we have the Rock and Roll Express versus LAX, and Shanna starts that off.
I think I'm going to go Rock and Roll Express.
Gets a vote. Austin.
You know, it's funny. We talk about matches that would be entertaining to watch. And I think even in 2023, this match would still be entertaining to watch. The Rock and Roll Express is still doing incredible things with Ricky Morton pulling out Canadian Destroyers every once in a while. But yeah, I got to go with Rock and Roll Express. LAX was so good in their prime. But a lot of the similar things I said before about the Rock and Roll Express, they were just the way that tag team matches are structured today is because of what the Rock and Roll Express was doing 40 years ago. So got to give it to Rock and Roll Express.
Q.
So I promise I really do like LAX, but I don't think I can vote against Rock and Roll Express in this matchup. Everything they've done for professional wrestling and all of the amazing matches they had, I got to go with Rock and Roll.
Rock and Roll Express gets his vote. I don't have a problem voting against Rock and Roll Express on this one. I will be going for LAX. Since I can see the board, I know who LAX will be facing in the next round if they happen to move on. So, and I would love to see that matchup, not only on the board, but like in the ring. So that is me. Dre, LAX, Rock and Roll Express.
Yeah, I have no problem going vote for LAX. I just find it more entertaining to me. I'm not saying the old school wrestling's not entertaining, but yeah, I love TNA wrestling. By the way, when TNA on the height, oh my gosh, this show's amazing. So I'm going to go with LAX here. And so Sasha.
LAX gets a vote. Sasha agrees. CJ, LAX or Rock and Roll Express?
Yeah, as a kid who Saturday did not start without sitting in front of the TV and watching the old NWA shows until I heard that theme song, buddy. You got to go with Rock and Roll Express. Just, let me tell you all a story about a thing called rock and roll.
And Jamie, finish us up.
LAX.
In a 4-3 split, Rock and Roll Express moves on. We'll be right back right after this break. Dre, to get ready to do your ad after I am done. I'm trying to figure out how to do this real quick. Welcome to the Recasting Call. We are a show where we take old movies and put in new favorites. Currently, we just got done doing Blazing Saddles, where we recast the top 5 people in that movie. Next, we are doing American Pie from 1999, and after that, we are going into the October season, the Halloween season, and we will be recasting Hocus Pocus. There are rules involved. There's a lot of thought involved, so go ahead and check out the show. The first episode to come out will be coming out on August 31st, just in time for school to start. Dre.
Oh, sorry. It went black for me. All right, sorry. So, I'm not going to do Master Bitch. I'm going to do the new show we're doing. So, hello. Welcome to Black Trivia, the only trivia podcast that's for the culture. Please come and see what you know about the culture with me and Kendra while we go through 5 categories to see what you know about the culture. Black Trivia, once a month, starting in September. Thank you.
Welcome back to the show. We're going into round 3 right now, and it looks like Shanna starts us off on this one. And we have, let's go, Brothers of Destruction versus Midnight Express.
First of all, if I do not get an invite for the Hocus Pocus recasting, you're cut off as my friend.
I would love to have you.
All right. Now moving on, I am going with, what were the choices? I was distracted by Hocus Pocus.
We have Brothers of Destruction versus Midnight Express.
I'm going to go Midnight Express.
Gives a vote. Austin.
Midnight Express.
Q.
This would be one hell of a match. Could you imagine?
Yep.
These two teams together. Oh my God. Take my money. Midnight Express though. Better tag team.
I'm gonna be the dissenter on this one. I'm gonna go Brothers of Destruction. No real good reason except for the fact that I grew up with Kane and Undertaker a lot more than I did with Midnight Express. So that's just a kind of a life issue when it comes to that. Dre, Brothers of Destruction or Midnight Express?
I'm also going to go Brothers of Destruction here. Actually, no good reason, but I watched more of Brothers of Destruction more than I watched Midnight Express. So I'm going to go Brothers of Destruction.
CJ.
Let me add on to what Q said. Not only from the wrestling aspect, but you have Paul Bearer versus Jim Cornette involved in it. So the hype lead up to it is going to be just, enough to make you want to watch it. But I got to go Midnight Express.
Gets a vote and the win. Jamie, Brothers of Destruction, Midnight Express.
So finally, the one time I'm gonna vote for Brothers of the Destruction, they freaking lose. Is this how this fucking works, guys? Instead of fuck you, Freddie, fuck all you guys. I'm giving him.
4-3, Midnight Express moves on to the next round. Austin starts us off. I'm going to give him Dudley Boys versus Rock and Roll Express.
Oh, that's tough. They're both great for different reasons. I think if you look at the Rock and Roll Express, that team really defines tag team wrestling in the 80s. And if you look at the Dudleys, I think that tag team really defines tag team wrestling in the late 90s and early 2000s. And both eras great for their own reasons. I came into this saying I wasn't going to vote against the Rock and Roll Express. And I think I'm going to. I got to give it to Dudley's.
Dudley Boys gets a vote. Q.
Oh man. Oh fuck you, Freddie. This.
Yes.
Yes. All the newbies in it.
Oh man, you broke me. You got me. Okay. Oh man. Okay. So yeah, we got two of the best teams from two different generations. This is gonna come down solely to what I grew up with more. I got Dudley Boys. Go on before I change my mind.
Dudley Boys gets a vote. Dudley Boys gets a third vote. Dre, Dudley Boys, Rock and Roll Express.
Oh, testify. Going to Dudley Boys.
Gets a fourth vote, so it gets the win. CJ, is it Rock and Roll Express for the Dudley Boys?
Let me say this in the most loving of ways. Fuck you, you 12 Chick-fil-A sandwich eating, Budweiser drinking sociopath. No, honestly,
don't associate me with Chick-fil-A. Come on.
I'm okay with either one, but I got to go with Rock and Roll Express, even though they lost. But
I've been called everything under the sun, but just don't associate me with Chick-fil-A. That's low.
Sonic,
That's way
your
too
choice
low.
sandwich, Sonic eating.
That I'll take. Sonic is actually pretty good. Jamie, Rock and Roll Express or Deadly Boys?
I mean, if you put the Dudley Boys for a comeback up on a match now, I think more people are going to be into that than Midnight Express or Rock and Roll Express, whatever. Sorry, dare I say on that? So I'm gonna give it to the Dudley Boys.
And Shanna finishes up.
Deadly Boys for sure.
So in a 6-1 vote, Dudley Boys gets their first vote against them in this entire bracket, moving on to the final four. Q starts us off, and we have let's go New Day versus Harlem Heat.
Oh man, I like this. I like this a lot. I mean, so it's as compelling as this is. This one, the more I think about it, isn't as difficult as I thought it would be, or as it should be. I'm going New Day.
New Day gets a vote. I will be giving it for New Day as well, just for presentation is key on this one, and I just can't stand Booker T. So, Dre, New Day, Harlem Heat.
It's definitely New Day. I mean, I love Harlem Heat, but it's definitely New Day.
CJ?
Yeah, I kind of have to go New Day on this one as well, I think.
Jamie?
Absolutely the fucking New Day.
Shanna?
Yeah.
That's that's LA Knight, but we'll go ahead and stick with it. Austin, finish this up.
It's New Day, for sure.
New Day takes out Harlem Heat in a 7-0 sweep. Last up in this particular round, and moving on to the final four, I start us off. We have the Usos versus FTR. The image I have in my head of FTR, unfortunately, a majority of the time, is of Revival, and it's really hard to get that out of my head. And I really love the Usos. Like, the Usos is one of my favorite tag teams of all time. Definitely my favorite tag team currently, even though their storyline takes them in a different route. So the Usos is going to be my vote over FTR. Unfortunately, I think FTR will be moving on, though. So, Dre, FTR, Usos.
I see what you try to do there. You try to say she has unfortunately the FTR moving on, trying to get people moving for the Usos. That's not happening with me. FTR is legitimately the best tag team, one of the two best tag teams in any promotion. Even though I would love to see the Usos versus FTR, not WWE though. Fuck WWE. Put that match in AEW. Put that match in New Japan. Oh my god, that show would be fucking fire. All right, FTR is the best tag team in the world right now. So
I'd much rather see Usos FTR and like GCW, to be honest.
Anything but the WWE.
Anyway, it is a tie game. CJ, Usos, FTR.
FTR.
FTR gets another vote. Jamie.
The Usos. My gosh, what's wrong with you guys?
We watch more than WWE. That's what's wrong.
That's what's wrong with them.
That's true.
Shanna, Usos, FTR.
I will also be giving my vote to the Usos.
Austin, Usos, FTR.
Usos are the best tag team in WWE, but there's more than just WWE out there, and FTR is the best in the rest of the world. So FTR.
FTR gets a vote, which means it's a tie game. Q, do you want to know who it will be facing in the final four?
Yes.
It will be the Usos with 3 votes, or FTR with 3 votes, going against the 7-0 sweep in the New Day.
That will be the ultimate fuck you ever for me if it goes one way. I'll be so mad.
Okay, I gotta be honest. That does change things for me. That revelation does change things for me because there's a certain type of I would love to see. Okay, so I want to be clear. I'm the guy who loves FTR/Revival so much that I voted Revival over the Usos. And so you can only imagine what I want to do now. You know, FTR is what my brain says over the Usos because they are the better tag team. I think the FTR is the best tag team alive today. Just point blank period. I think they're just that good. I think they're technicians. I think they're solid. I think that they are inside each other's brains and they have that ring psychology down to a T. No one's better. But I want to see the Usos versus the New Day. So we're gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with the Usos.
Wow. Not
making the heel turn here.
Yeah.
Wow.
In a 4-3 split and so much hate from the crowd. The Usos move on to the final 4. I started that one off, which means Dre will be starting this off. Do you want to start with the Usos, Deadly Boys, New Day, or Midnight Express? Or actually, you know what? Never mind. You already know what the pairing's going to be. So, Dre, let's go Midnight Express versus the Deadly Boys.
The Dudley Boys. That's not even a hard question for me. I know I keep voting against the Midnight Express, and I don't care. I'm still going Dudley Boys here. I mean, Dudley Boys again. I'm a big fan of hardcore wrestling. I want to see blood. I want to see people going through tables. I want to hear Devon get the table. I want to hear all that shit. So I'm going to go Dudley Boys here.
I would have laughed if the Rock and Roll Express would have moved on from the last matchup because it would have been the Rock and Roll Express versus the Midnight Express.
Choo-choo, bitches.
Still one of the greatest programs ever of all time.
Just saying. Dudley Boys gets a vote. CJ.
Man, I hate going against Midnight Express, but man, it's the Dudleys, and 3D is like my all-time favorite finishing move. So, yeah, we're gonna go Dudleys.
Dudley Boys gets a vote. Jamie, Dudley's Midnight Express.
Yep. Dudleys.
Shanna?
Dudleys.
Austin?
The Dudleys.
Q?
The Dudley Boys.
I will be going with the Dudleys as well, which means it is another sweep into the finals. There's been one vote against a Dudley this entire time, and that was for the Rock and Roll Express.
I'm sorry. I just I cannot in good conscience vote against my all-time favorite team.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. We all have bad days. It happens. That was CJ. Jamie starts this one off. Is it the Usos or the New Day?
Why? Fuck all of us, because we're the ones that brought it here, but really, fuck you, Q. Really.
That was him. That was him totally. I didn't do shit. The only thing I did is I gave him the ability that I have everybody gave the ability to find out who was facing in the next round, which did change his mind, which is the reason why that rule is there.
So, I mean, still could say fuck you to you, but I mean, y'all just want me to blow my load, don't you? Hey, Gina girl, what's up? What's up?
That's an excellent way to come into the show.
Yeah, right? You want me to blow my load on this, don't you? God damn it.
Nobody's done it.
I'm gonna.
Jamie has decided to blow her load on this, which means Shanna is going first.
Shanna will also be blowing her load on Jamie's back. I will squirt the shirt.
That's 2 in a row. Austin, Usos, New Day.
I'm also going to blow my load and defer to Q.
Maybe I had this coming.
No pun intended.
Fully intended.
All you fuckers, if you start blowing loads just so that I gotta go first again, we're gonna.
That's happened one time, by the way. Out of this is episode 91. We've had it happen one time where
and I was there for it.
And she was the only girl. Shannon was the only girl for this show, and we had a porn star on there where we had all 7 of us blew our load on the same turn, and it was our one bukkake moment.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, Q.
So you could say I was pretty salty.
Yeah. God damn it, Shannon. Q, was it the Usos or New Day?
Blow your load. Blow your load.
I am going to blow my just kidding. I'm heel Q now. I'm going with the Usos, taking y'all to Uso Penitentiary.
Uso gets a vote. I'll be going Usos as well, actually. I absolutely love the New Day. I really do, but I think the Usos versus the Dudleys in the finals would be a better matchup. So there's that. Dre, Usos, New Day.
FTR. Sorry.
Park.
No, I'm going to New Day versus the Usos. This program already happened. They are each other's greatest rivals. That's hands down. They are each other's greatest rivals. One of the best tag team matches of all time, actually, is the Hell in a Cell Usos versus New Day. Haven't watched it? Go watch it. That shit's fucking amazing. It just all goes down to a better in-ring tag team, and the Usos to me can wrestle in any promotion more than the New Day can. New Day is entertaining. They are a product of WWE. It is what it is. It's more about entertaining than in ring. The Usos can go in the ring, so I'm going to go Usos.
Real recognizes real. CJ, New Day, Usos.
New Day.
Jamie?
The New Day.
Coming with a turnaround. Shanna?
Usos.
Oh, seals the deal. Austin, finish it up.
We're gonna fight.
Bring it on.
Yeah, flagpole after school.
I know that the Usos already have it, but with two teams that I think are so similar in their skill, I have to look at how well they evolve over the years. And I think the New Day's been doing the same thing since 2013, 2014. Whereas when you look at the Usos and they started with the colorful face paint and to see where they were to where they're at now, it's a completely different team. I think just because of that evolution, I have to give it to the Usos.
They're relying on their family history in the first part, and now they're relying on their family history now.
That's true. Yeah. In a way, that's very true.
See your logic. I just find the
it
flaws.
sells.
But
it sells, but so does New Day.
I really enjoy seeing the Usos wrestle together versus separately. They're still good wrestlers separately, but I prefer them together. So I'm still not mad about this decision, but really kind of almost salty. Well, you guys blew loads on me.
Well, the New Day is actually better wrestlers separately. I mean, they got 2 world champions.
Right.
I
will watch all of their matches. I will. That's true, Dre. I will.
Both of them lost their titles to Brock Lesnar, by the way.
Again, Brock Lesnar makes my asshole itchy.
Brock Lesnar won last week's episode, by the way. For those who haven't seen it yet, spoiler alert.
The F5?
From Australia. Yeah.
What kind of other...
in the finals, it was the RKO.
The RKO is not a good finisher to me. It's not. And you know why? Because it's the same shit I said about the super kick. Everybody does it. Cody literally jumps off a rope and do it.
The show
Sorry.
dropped today. If you have time, check it out,
Okay.
and you can rant. I wasn't voting. We had 3 of us there, so you can blame them. You can blame me if you want. I don't really fucking care. But
The best
Jamie
finishing
starts us off.
Let's say the best finishing move rarely gets mentioned. It was One Man Gang's front face suplex. That was a sick move.
Jamie starts us off, and we have for 3rd place. Is it the New Day or Midnight Express?
The fucking New Day. Everybody should know better. All you, please. Pretty please.
Watch Shanna just fuck with you.
Please.
Shanna, is it the New Day or Midnight Express?
It will be the New Day.
The New Day. Austin.
It's hard to vote against the Midnight Express, but the New Day takes it.
Q.
My head is telling me Midnight Express, but man, I gotta go with my heart on this one. New Day.
Gets another one. I will be going New Day as well. Dre.
Yeah, it was definitely New Day. I mean, again, I haven't voted for Midnight Express the whole time, so I'm not going to stop. So there you go, New Day.
And CJ, finish this out.
Yeah, I'm just gonna reiterate what Austin and Quentin said. You know, hate voting against the Midnight Express, but sorry, New Day.
In a 7-0 sweep, New Day moves into 3rd place. This is the finals. It's the last time to blow your load if you have not already. Shanna starts us off. Is it the Dudleys or the Usos?
I think I'm going to go Usos.
Usos gets a vote. Austin.
I'm going to repeat what Dre said earlier. The Usos could wrestle in any promotion in the world. The problem is the Dudleys have already done it. So I got to give it to the Dudleys.
Q.
Yeah, Austin hit the nail on the head with that one, man. This comes down to just a super slim margin, man, but it's the Dudleys.
As I do in my history, I'm a man of completion. I will be blowing my load in the finals. Dre.
Well, let's make it 3-0. It's definitely Dudley. Listen, I love the Usos. I really do. But the Dudley had done it every single place. Jamie, I see your face. It's not about the WWE. It's about the best tag team, period.
No. Everybody's
So-
talking me. I guess I see opposite at first, but I get what you're saying.
And listen, Dudley's had done it everywhere. And again, Bubba's still doing it right now. So I have to go Dudley boys here.
It's 3-1, by the way, not 3-0. But CJ, Usos, Dudleys.
Yeah, this one's not even close for me, man. This is Dudley's by miles and miles.
Jamie.
Wow. I guess I'm a little more surprised than I should be. Yeah, the Usos.
Usos gets a vote. I'm going to give it to the Usos to make sure it's close, but the Dudley boys in a 4-3 split win the tag team tournament, which I think this is how the tournament should go in wrestling, to be perfectly honest. Just have big ass fucking tournaments like this, but that's me. That is our show this week, guys. The Dudley Boys won. Dre, where can people find you?
All right, so first thing first, thanks for having me on. My name is DeAndre Robinson. I am the host of Masturbators, where we debate some most likely topics through brackets, drafts, and I guess trivia now.
Yes.
We
Branching out.
Yeah, thank you. We have a show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then also you can find me on doing, like I said, Black Trivia with my co-host Kendra, starting in September. It's going to be once a month. Oh, and big shout out to two things. With the I Did Not Make These Rankings podcast network with Shanna, we are giving away a free year of Peacock to a one lucky person. All you gotta do is listen to either one of our shows and then comment on Spotify, Apple, or Good Pods about the show. You can't say yay, hi, or bullshit like that. Listen to the fucking show. All right. Also, I want to do, if you listen to this far, I want to thank everyone that voted for Masturbators. We are one of the finalists for best black host and the People's Choice Podcast Awards. So thank you so much, and I will say, yeah, thank you. Now, my daughter's fucking with me, so go ahead. Who's next?
It's well deserved there, Dre. CJ.
You can find me all over Google. Just type in the name, Music God CJ Plain. The website is riotonthesetmedia.rocks, R-O-C-K. YouTube is Music God Reacts. And all the social medias are just Music God CJ Plain. If you want to find me on the TikTok or the Facebook or the X thingy now, I guess it's called. So I'm all over the place.
Jamie.
Well, basically, if you just plug my name, honestly, into Google, Jamie Fuller Sparks, you'll find my Instagram. You'll find me on Facebook. You'll find me on Twitter. You'll find me on most of the social shit. And I got my name on here for y'all. I'm on as much as I possibly can be here for the Bracket Bastards. So I'm here for it. And you guys have a good night. I do got to dip out. So it's been a good time, guys. Thank you.
Love you. Bye.
Love
Later,
ya.
Gator.
Love you, mean it.
Miss Shambanan.
I am Shanna, and I am the newest member of the I Did Not Make These Rankings podcast network family. There, I am a part of 3 shows. The first being Crime Rewind, which drops every Tuesday. Then we have what was Wednesday is an evening at the movies, and every first Monday of the month we drop Literature Reapers, and then we typically do a mid-month check-in. So just watch our socials for that, and we hope to see you there.
Austin.
I am the beautiful boy, Austin Buckner. I am the co-host and producer of the Ice Cream Sunday podcast. Sunday spelled like the day of the week. You can find us at icecreamsundaypodcast.com. We've got a couple really big things happening in September. On September 24th, we are dropping our first video episode. That'll go up on youtube.com/IC Sunday Podcast. We also have our first live event a week later, September 30th at the Eagles Club in Creston, Iowa. For more information, icecreamsundaypodcast.com.
And as always, Q.
Yes, I am the homie Q, and you guys can find me at the Superhero Homies podcast. That podcast is available wherever you get your podcast from. Apple, Spotify, all the DSPs, we're there. And if you guys want anything concerning superhero content, comic books, superhero TV shows, movies, the whole gambit, all of that is discussed, covered, in-depth reviewed on that podcast. It's a great time and a great hang. Be sure to check that out.
And as always, I'm your host, Freddie Fisher. You can find me at that on Facebook. While you're on Facebook, check out Bracketology and Bracket Bastards. On Bracketology, we have 2 different polls going up every single day. Currently, it is movie snacks and discontinued favorites like Dunkaroos and Surge, and actually both of those have actually come back, but they were discontinued at one time. So we have 2 brackets going on like that. On Instagram, we're at Bracket Pod. I'm at Fisher777. And on, sorry, that was Twitter. On Instagram, I'm at Can't Lick Me, not one word. We have, next week, we're doing books to movies. So it's a 2-week process. We have 2 32-count brackets of movies that actually started from books. So it's a complete departure from what we're doing this week. Nice. I will leave you guys with the simple words from the late, great Jerry Springer, and that is this: take care of yourself and each other. Have a good week, guys.